you could just introduce yourself and your company and what you kind of do.
So I'm Jake Drumm. I'm the owner of Drumm Emergency Solutions. We're kind of a full service training and medical equipment company. We service everybody from homesteaders and farmers to, large government organizations with training and equipment, do lots of work in between, schools, churches, you name it. We're kind of engaged in that space.
So we were mentioning earlier, there is an increase in like natural disasters and just climate events all over the world. What is people's personal responsibility? What can you say to that what should people do in order to ensure their own safety in light of these events happening?
Sure, like we're all busy, we're all distracted, we all got a million things going on, but as we discussed, prevention, for all of these things is the best medicine, right? And so if you're trying to be kind of a more resilient person, a more resilient family, a more resilient community, kind of looking at existing risk, like things that could potentially occur, whether it's storms, floods, fires, whatever that may be, what problems can you fix now to mitigate the impact from that disaster or mitigate, the impact from that, pandemic that shows up. Like you can fix a lot of those problems now. You can solve a lot of those problems now. If you just take 5 minutes to kind of look around and be like, hey, like there's clearly a huge gap here, like we can address this problem.
What would you recommend for a person to keep on them? Like, do you think about like a personal safety kit, like a bug out bag or something?
I do, and it's a tiered kind of thing, right? So I have a business degree on top of my kind of other background experience. So one of the things in business school that they kind of beat you over the head with is the SWOT analysis, right? SWOT. And so as a business tool, we're looking at strengths and weaknesses, kind of things external to us, and then opportunities and threats, things internal, right? And you can do that little SWOT analysis thing for your own self, for your own family, and be like, okay, what are my strengths? Maybe I have this kit already. I have a tourniquet. I have a robust first aid kit. I have good training. What are my weaknesses? Like, do the kids know how to use those things, right? And then what do the neighbors look like? Like, is my neighbor's property a tinderbox? And so when the wildland fire springs up, like their place is definitely going to burn, which is going to affect my place. How can I, kind of help with that threat, and what opportunities are there for me to help kind of prepare my neighbor? So, for me, the number one thing is awareness and education, like always. And then the supplies come secondary. So I can throw all the medical kits in the world at you. Like I can give you all the gear, but if you've never touched it, played with it, integrated it, like who cares?
Sure.
I mean, it's useless.
Yeah.
You really want to weigh the things you're spending your money on with kind of your level of education and comfort.
Sure. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. In your experience, what can you say to what is to come? Like, what do you think our future prospects are in this climate that we exist in today?
Wow, crazy question, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the world's a wild place. I mean, just look around. I live in East Tennessee. Western North Carolina just experienced a hurricane, which is not really something we do. So we got to learn to deal with a hurricane. We got to learn to deal with a whole bunch of stuff and still deal with a whole bunch of stuff that would have never, like a week before, been predicted for there. And so now you have people thinking, okay, well, this happened. What could be next? I think it has woken a lot of people up to the fact that the climate is getting a little wild, and we need to expand our mindset about, what the risks are, how we can mitigate those risks. Do we need to be building our house down on the river side? All the things, and like getting the general public kind of schooled up that, hey, things are indeed getting more crazy. So, how do we prepare for those things and just look into the future? We now know that you can have a hurricane in Appalachia. Well, is there going to be another hurricane? Maybe. And how do we prepare for that, right? How do we prepare for the flooding, kind of the loss of infrastructure, supporting systems, all of those things? And so from an emergency manager perspective, and I think that community-wise, that's one of the places it needs to start, is working with your local communities, be like, listen, these are the real risks here. These are the potential risks that, could happen. These are things that everybody should be doing to prepare for those things. And I mean, I've said it a billion times in the past, but building resiliency into yourself, your family, your community, like that's how you win when kind of this new, more catastrophic environment.
Yeah.
Being flexible, having the education, understanding that, hey, like, you might not be able to go to the grocery store for like 5 days.
Yeah.
So maybe have something to eat and maybe have some water, because it's going to be hard for people to get to you. And, you need to be ready to support yourself a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. That personal responsibility.
Personal responsibility. And that's really where it all lies, right? And so how do we get all Americans, I guess, to re-engage more personal responsibility and be part of the solution and not part of the problem?
Thank you for what you're doing, the solutions, the innovation that you're providing to, the community, small and large. And I mean, it's really necessary right now in this day and age that we're living in. So, thanks again.
Yeah, thanks for talking to me.
I appreciate it so much, Jake.